Welcome back to Peaceful Soul. Today, we're talking about something deeply personal: how to find safety again when life has left its mark on you. Some wounds don't bleed or bruise, yet you can feel them, in every shallow breath, in the sleepless nights, in the way your heart races for no clear reason. Maybe you've felt that too, when everything around you seems calm. But inside, your body is still tense, your heart still pounding, your mind whispering, "I'm not safe yet." If that sounds familiar, know this: you're not weak. Your body is simply doing what it was designed to do: protect you from what once caused pain. Inspired by the work of Dr. Ariel Schwartz and new discoveries in neuroscience, this video will explore how trauma lives in the body and, more importantly, how you can gently restore your sense of inner safety. This isn't about pretending to be okay. It's about learning how to live, to breathe, and to reconnect, one step, one heartbeat, one breath at a time. Before we begin, take a slow breath in through your nose, and let it out through your mouth. Feel that gentle sense of control returning. That's where healing begins, not in a dramatic moment, but in these quiet spaces. When you breathe, when you notice, when you truly arrive in the present. Wherever you are, sitting at the table, lying in bed, or listening in the stillness of night, remember, you're not alone. Peaceful Soul is here as a space to pause, to breathe, and to find the rhythm of calm once again. Because healing isn't a race, it's a rhythm. And today, we'll find that rhythm together. In this section, we'll talk about a truth most people never realize: that sometimes the body holds on to the memories the mind wants to forget. When we think of trauma, we often picture painful memories in the mind. But the truth is, most of that pain doesn't live in memory, it lives in the body. The body has its own memory. It keeps track of every moment you froze, flinched, or stayed silent to survive. And behind all that is a slender nerve running from your brain down to your belly, the vagus nerve. Central to the Polyvagal Theory, developed by Dr. Stephen Porges. Think of the vagus nerve as a two-way highway connecting your brain and your body. When you feel safe, traffic flows smoothly, your breath is steady, your heartbeat calm, your voice warm. But when danger is sensed, everything changes. The body sends a signal: we're not safe, protect yourself. In seconds, your heart races, muscles tighten, and breathing becomes shallow. It's a survival reflex, written into your biology for millions of years. According to Polyvagal Theory, our nervous system reacts on 3 levels, like climbing a ladder. First, it seeks connection: a kind look, a gentle voice, a reassuring hug. If connection is found, the body relaxes. If not, it shifts to the second level: fight or flight. Adrenaline rises, the heart pounds, and the body prepares to act. For modern humans, the threat isn't a tiger anymore, it's work stress, conflict, or memories that still linger. Yet your body reacts the same way, as if that tiger were real, even if it's just an email, an argument, or a memory you thought you'd buried. When all else fails, the body goes to its final defense: freeze. You feel numb, exhausted, disconnected. Biologically, this is how the body says: if I can't fight or run, I'll disappear. It keeps you alive, but it also keeps you trapped. I once met Sarah, a woman from Denver who survived a serious car accident. Years later, she still shook whenever she heard the sound of screeching brakes. "I don't know why I can't just move on," she told me, but her body was still doing its job. It hadn't received the signal that the danger was over. Her nervous system was still living in that moment, not in the present. This is the heart of the Polyvagal Theory. Safety isn't a thought, it's a biological experience. You can't think your way into feeling safe. The body doesn't speak logic, it speaks through breath, tone, and touch. A calm voice, a kind gaze, a steady heartbeat. These are the messages your nervous system truly understands. Research by Deb Dana, a clinician who expanded on Porges' work, shows that when people feel truly seen and heard, their heart rhythms begin to synchronize, a phenomenon called co-regulation. It's the same biological harmony that happens between a mother and her baby during an embrace. It's not just emotional, it's science. So if you've ever wondered why you can't get over it alone, remember this: You were never meant to heal in isolation. Your nervous system was built for connection, to find safety through others. Through voice, eye contact, gentle touch, and once you understand that language, you can learn to send those same signals back to yourself, through breath, movement, and awareness. Every time you take a deep breath and remind yourself, I'm still here, and I'm safe, you're teaching your body that the fear has ended. That's where healing begins, not in forgetting, but in showing your body that the danger is gone. Now, let's explore something many people experience without realizing it, the moment when the body freezes. And the slow journey back to life begins. When someone enters a freeze state, they rarely know it's happening. There's no warning sign, no alarm, just silence. Like everything inside has paused. You wake up with no energy. Stare at your phone but can't reply. Your heart beats slow while your mind feels heavy. That's not weakness or laziness. That's your nervous system trying to protect you, by temporarily shutting down to help you survive. I remember Ellen, a 38-year-old woman who endured years of emotional abuse. She told me there were mornings when she felt nothing, no fear, no sadness, no joy, just emptiness. She'd sit by the window for hours, unaware of time passing. I feel like I'm not really living, she said. In truth, her body was in a freeze state, a natural reaction when fear lasts too long and the nervous system disconnects to keep you safe. You don't need a medical test to recognize this. The body always sends signals: numbness in the chest, shallow breath, blurred focus, or deep fatigue without reason. Some people say, I know what I should do, but I can't start. Others feel detached from themselves, as if watching life from behind glass. This is when the dorsal vagal branch of the vagus nerve takes over. It pulls you away from the world to reduce pain. Escaping this state isn't about forcing yourself to be strong. The harder you push, the deeper your body retreats. The key is gentle movement and signals of safety. In polyvagal terms, it's called climbing the ladder, moving from shutdown, through gentle activation, back to connection. Start with something simple, orienting to your surroundings. When you're frozen, your brain loses track of reality. Sit still, breathe slowly, and look around. Let your eyes rest on small, safe details: a photo, the sunlight on the wall, a plant near the window. Each of these tells your body, right now, we're safe. Next, try the paired breath exercise, used in many polyvagal therapies. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 1, exhale for 4. Place a hand on your chest and feel your heartbeat. Each inhale says, I'm here. Each exhale answers, and I'm safe. Over time, your breath becomes a bridge between survival and presence. Gentle movement helps too. You don't need an intense yoga routine. Sometimes just stretching is enough. One practice, called Robin's breath, goes like this. As you inhale, open your chest and lift your chin slightly. As you exhale, curl inward and wrap your arms around yourself. This rhythm helps the vagus nerve rebalance between activation and rest, helping the body remember it's alive. At first, your body might resist. It's used to stillness. But be patient. Just as dawn doesn't burst through the night all at once, healing comes gradually. One day, you'll want to get out of bed a bit earlier, or suddenly feel ready to talk to someone again. Those are signs of return. I once met Mark, a veteran from Iraq. For years, he lived like a shadow, avoiding people, sitting in darkness. When he began polyvagal practice, he started with something tiny, opening his window each morning and breathing for a few minutes. At first, it felt pointless, but after 2 weeks, he noticed his heart beating faster when he looked outside. Months later, he adopted a dog, and for the first time in nearly a decade, he laughed, not because the pain was gone, but because he could finally feel alive again. Coming out of freeze doesn't mean you'll never feel fear. It means you've learned how to return to yourself. When your body realizes it can move, breathe, and connect without danger, it begins to trust safety again. And that's when true healing begins, quietly, gently, through small, consistent acts of kindness toward yourself. So if you're in a season of numbness, please don't blame yourself. Freeze is the body's way of saying, I've had enough. And when you listen, patiently, compassionately, it will begin to thaw. Start with one breath, One look, one small act of care. Step by step, you're not just escaping stillness, you're teaching your nervous system that life is still here, waiting for you to feel it again. Have you ever wondered what happens when connection itself becomes the most powerful medicine? Neuroscience and psychology keep proving one simple truth: we cannot heal in isolation. Our bodies are wired to co-regulate with others. When we're near someone calm, our heartbeat slows. When we hear a gentle voice, our breath softens. When we see compassion in someone's eyes, our vagus nerve sends the signal, "You're safe now." That process is called co-regulation, the nervous system's way of finding safety through connection. Think back to a moment when you hugged someone and suddenly felt tears coming. Before that, you held everything in, but the second that hug wrapped around you, your body let go. It wasn't weakness, it was relief. Your body finally received the message: you're not alone. In that instant, two nervous systems harmonized, like two melodies falling into rhythm. The body doesn't need words, it just needs presence. I once met Tom, a middle-aged man from Seattle. After losing his wife in an accident, he tried to get better alone, reading self-help books, meditating, exercising, but nothing truly changed. Only when he joined a support group did something shift. "No one tried to fix me," he said. "They just listened and cried with me. For the first time, my heart felt steady again." That's the power of co-regulation, when your nervous system borrows another's calm until it remembers how to create its own. If you're healing, you've probably heard the phrase, "You have to love yourself first." But sometimes, we only learn self-love after being loved gently by others. Polyvagal theory shows that inner safety can't grow in a vacuum, it's cultivated through voice, touch, and presence. So if you still need someone to help you feel grounded, don't be ashamed. That's not weakness, it's the ancient biology that once kept you safe in your mother's arms. Picture a crying baby. The moment the mother steps closer, places her hand on the baby's back, and breathes softly, the crying stops. Their nervous systems align, both enter safety. That's co-regulation in its purest form. And that mechanism never leaves us. We just forget how to access it as adults when the world tells us to handle it on our own. If you live alone or don't have anyone close, you can still practice co-regulation in your own way. Choose someone who makes you feel safe, a friend, a family member, even someone on a call. Don't focus on what to say. Notice their breath, their tone, their pace. Let your body attune to theirs. If they speak slowly, breathe slower. If they smile, let your face respond. That's co-regulation, quiet, effortless, real. You can also try self-co-regulation, imagining someone or someplace that brings peace. Maybe your mom cooking dinner, your best friend's laughter, or the glow of a beach sunset. Close your eyes and recall every detail: sounds, scents, warmth. The brain doesn't distinguish between real and imagined safety. It still sends calming signals through the vagus nerve. MRI scans even show increased activity in emotional regulation areas during these exercises. I think of Linda, a retired nurse. After her husband of 40 years passed, she felt unbearably lonely. Guided through safe place visualization, she chose to remember evenings watching sunsets over Lake Michigan with him. Each morning, she closed her eyes and returned there. Within weeks, she felt lighter, breathed easier, and finally slept through the night. Science calls it vagal recovery. I call it love continuing to heal. Connection isn't just between people, it's between you and life itself. A sleeping dog, a familiar song, your hands in the soil, all are forms of co-regulation. Each reminds your nervous system, you're still part of something alive. Every time you allow yourself to feel that, your body records it. I'm not separate. I still belong. So if loneliness weighs on you, remember this. You don't have to do it all alone. Let someone, or something, enter your world. Even a single heartbeat beside yours can whisper to your body, "You're safe here." Now, let's learn how to come home to your body and nurture safety from within. Once you've learned to feel safe with others, the next step is learning to bring that feeling inside yourself. Because the truth is, no one can be with you all the time. Real safety isn't about having someone to lean on, It's about knowing you can hold yourself steady when the world feels chaotic. And here's the miracle. Your body already knows how, you just have to help it remember. Inner safety begins with breath. Breath is the bridge between the unconscious and the conscious, between the body and the mind. When you change your breath, you change your nervous system. Studies on the vagus nerve show that even a few minutes of steady breathing can activate the brain regions responsible for calm and connection. It's simple, you just have to breathe right. Try this. Place one hand on your chest and one on your belly. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds. Feel your belly expand. Then exhale gently through your mouth for another 4. As you breathe out, imagine releasing the tension inside. After a few rounds, notice the warmth in your chest. That's your vagus nerve sending the message. It's okay. You're safe now. Beyond breath, movement is another language of healing. Humans weren't designed to sit still all day. Every emotion has a physical path. Anger wants to push out. Fear wants to pull back. Sadness wants to fall. When you let the body move, emotion finds release. Try a simple exercise called gentle shaking. Stand up, drop your shoulders, and softly shake your body as if brushing off invisible dust. Play a slow song if you like. Close your eyes, and let your body choose its own rhythm. It doesn't need to look good, it just needs to be real. I remember Jenny, a yoga teacher from California. After a painful loss, she couldn't meditate. Every time she closed her eyes, her body trembled. Instead of forcing stillness, she started small, rolling her shoulders, stretching her neck, bowing forward. I realized my body didn't need me to silence it. She said, it needed me to let it breathe and move. Weeks later, she was finally able to sit still, and this time, stillness felt like peace, not fear. Another powerful practice is body scanning, noticing your body from head to toe. Sit or lie down, close your eyes, and slowly move your awareness downward. Don't try to feel anything specific, just notice. Is your head heavy? Your neck tight? Your stomach soft? If you sense discomfort, don't resist it. Breathe into that area as if sending light and understanding there. This is called somatic awareness, the art of sensing your body from within. Restoring the bridge between thought and feeling. To deepen your inner safety, learn to send loving signals to yourself. Each time you place a hand on your chest or whisper, it's okay. Your body listens. The brain doesn't distinguish your voice from someone else's comfort, it only recognizes safety. When you say, I'm safe, your vagus nerve responds, heart rate slows, muscles relax, you become your own co-regulator. Create what I call a safety ritual. A few minutes each day just for your body, 10 minutes of breathing in the morning, 5 minutes of stretching in the afternoon, or 2 quiet minutes before bed with your hand on your heart. It doesn't have to be long, what matters is repetition. Like strengthening a muscle, each moment of practice builds your neural resilience. After a few weeks, you'll feel the shift, not because life is quieter, but because you've learned to stay calm within it. When you reconnect with your body, you realize safety no longer depends on the outside world. You can sit in a familiar room, hear the rain outside, and still feel at peace. Because true safety isn't the absence of fear, it's knowing you can stay with yourself even when fear visits. That's the gift of embodiment, unconditional peace. Remember, every breath teaches your body to trust. Every movement reminds it that you're alive. And every hand placed over your heart whispers the gentlest truth of all. I'm still here. And that is enough. Let's talk about the power of patience and the quiet strength of small daily changes. Anyone who's ever walked the path of healing learns this truth early. There are no shortcuts. Healing doesn't happen overnight. There's no magic method, no single moment that erases all the pain. Your body and nervous system aren't machines to be fixed, they're gardens to be tended. Day by day. Each breath, each choice, each act of kindness toward yourself is a small seed quietly taking root. Science calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to adapt and change. Every time you repeat a small healing action, your brain begins to form new neural pathways, like clearing a new trail through an overgrown forest. At first, the path is rough, but with repetition, it becomes familiar, easier to walk. Safety works the same way. It doesn't appear through a miracle. but through small, steady, patient steps. I once met Robert, a retired police officer haunted by years of trauma. Even after leaving the force, the sound of a siren made his heart race. He thought he needed something powerful to fix him. But what changed him were small, gentle routines. 2 minutes of deep breathing. 5 minutes of sitting by the window each morning. 6 months later, he said, "I still hear the sirens. But now it's just a sound, not a memory." His fear didn't vanish. His brain simply learned that the present is safe. Each small action taught his nervous system, "I can stay calm, even when the sound is there." That's the quiet strength of patience, retraining the body to trust again. Many people believe big change requires big effort. But often, it's the tiny, consistent acts that reshape us most deeply. Taking a short walk, drinking water, taking one calm breath before replying to a stressful message. Each time you choose calm over reaction, breath over tension, you're rewiring your nervous system. Like practicing an instrument or learning a language. Your brain is learning, except this time, it's learning to trust life again. The hardest part? You don't see results right away. Healing is like watching a tree grow, it seems the same every day. But beneath the soil, roots are spreading. Your body is the same. The first signs of healing are subtle. A morning without shaking. A sad song that no longer hurts. That's not coincidence, it's the result of hundreds of patient moments you've given yourself. The nervous system doesn't learn through logic, it learns through repeated experience. You can't convince it that you're safe, you have to show it every day. Each walk in the sunlight, each gentle laugh, each breath is a message to your body, it's okay now. And over time, peace becomes less of a goal and more of a habit. Researchers at Stanford University found that people who practiced deep breathing, meditation, or gentle movement for at least 8 weeks showed greater vagal tone, meaning their bodies recovered from stress more easily. So when you breathe, stretch, or journal each day, you're not doing something small, you're training your nervous system. Just like a muscle. Peace, like strength, must be practiced. I often tell my clients, you don't need to do a lot, you just need to do it consistently. If all you can manage today is 3 slow breaths, start there. If tomorrow you can step outside and feel the air, wonderful. And if one day you're too tired to do anything, that's okay too. Simply noticing it without self-judgment is progress. Patience in healing isn't endurance, it's a form of love. Every time you slow down, rest, and choose gentleness over pressure, you're loving yourself in a language your body understands. And that love is the most powerful nervous system reset there is. Healing isn't a destination, it's a rhythm. A cycle of returning to breath, body, and presence, again and again. Like the ocean, sometimes strong, sometimes soft, but never still. And so are you. Even if you move slowly, you're still moving, always toward the light. There's a moment in every healing journey that most people don't recognize right away. It's when everything inside you begins to fall back into sync, your thoughts stop fighting your emotions, and your body no longer resists your mind. Suddenly, everything feels aligned, like a song that's been out of rhythm slowly finding its melody again. This is what we call the harmony between mind, body, and spirit, and it's the moment when true healing begins to transform from within. For most of our lives, we've been taught to live in our heads, to think, to analyze, to control, but the body has its own language, and when we ignore it, it starts to speak louder. Headaches, insomnia, rapid heartbeat, tension in your stomach, these aren't enemies, they're messages. Your body is saying, please notice me, I'm holding emotions your mind tried to forget. When we learn to listen instead of silence it, we open the very first door to reconnecting the mind, body, and spirit. Neuroscientists call this process integration, the neurological harmony between your emotional and rational systems. Research from Harvard University shows that when people practice mindfulness, breathing, and body awareness consistently, the emotional center of the brain, the amygdala, and the rational control center, the prefrontal cortex, start to work in sync. That means your emotions and thoughts begin to speak the same language. You stop reacting and start responding, not with cold logic, but with gentle understanding. I remember Monica, a professional dancer who had struggled with years of depression. She told me there were times she felt completely disconnected from herself. I could smile, talk, and perform, she said, but I couldn't feel anything. After months of breath and movement therapy, something shifted. One day, while dancing, she suddenly broke down in tears. For the first time, she said, I felt like I was truly inside my body. That was the moment her mind, body, and spirit reunited, and her tears were no longer about pain, but about coming home to herself. The harmony between mind, body, and spirit doesn't mean living in constant peace. It means having the ability to feel without being consumed by what you feel. You can still be sad, and know that you're sad. You can still be angry, without losing yourself in it. Your body no longer tightens. Your mind no longer judges. And emotions are allowed to move through you like gentle waves. When that happens, you don't need to control life anymore, because you've learned to flow with it. To nurture this connection, you can start with something simple. Each morning, before reaching for your phone, place a hand over your heart and ask, how does my body feel today? Don't think, just sense. It might feel heavy, it might feel light, or maybe it feels like nothing at all. And that's okay. The goal isn't to change anything, it's to notice. Each moment you pause long enough to feel, you're readying the thread between your mind and body, the one modern life often cuts loose. Another powerful practice is keeping a body journal. Don't write about what you did. Write about what you felt. Did your chest tighten when someone said something hurtful? Did your hands shake when you remembered a painful moment? Write it down. No judgment. No analysis. Writing gives your emotions a voice and helps your brain recognize that you're finally listening. Researchers at UCLA have found that simply labeling emotions reduces overactivity in the amygdala, allowing you to feel calmer and more clear-minded. I once met David, a physician who had burned out after years in medicine. He told me he lived like a head detached from a body. Only when he began practicing moving meditation, sitting, breathing, and feeling his feet on the floor, did he realize how long he'd ignored his body. I thought healing meant controlling my mind, he said, but it turns out, it meant returning to my body. Now, every morning before work, he takes a few minutes to breathe and feel warmth spread through his chest. He says that simple practice has changed the way he listens to his patients, because when he's present in his own body, he can truly be present for others. The harmony between mind, body, and spirit doesn't just improve mental health, it strengthens your physical health too. When your vagus nerve is balanced, your heart rate stabilizes, your immune system strengthens, and your sleep deepens. Studies show that people who practice somatic awareness, mindful attention to bodily sensations, have lower cortisol levels and recover faster from stress. In other words, when you heal internally, your body heals along with you. And here's the most beautiful part. When your mind, body, and spirit move as one, you stop striving to be better. You simply are. You begin to observe instead of react, to stay instead of escape, to be calm instead of control. You stop trying to become someone else, because you've come home to the most authentic, gentle, and whole version of yourself. When your breath flows with your heartbeat, when your thoughts soften and emotions no longer feel like threats, that's when healing reaches its deepest level. Because in the end, healing isn't about erasing pain, it's about learning to live peacefully with it. When the mind, body, and spirit sing the same song, you realize peace was never gone. It was simply waiting for you to listen again to the rhythm of your own being. When your healing journey reaches its deepest point, it's not when the pain disappears, it's when you begin to see beauty within your own cracks. You realize that everything that once broke you also taught you how to rise again. With a heart more open, more compassionate, and more alive. In that moment, you stop trying to go back to who you once were, because you're no longer that person. You're being reborn into someone wiser, softer, and more whole. Rebirth doesn't arrive like a lightning strike. It happens quietly, in the mornings when you choose to breathe instead of resist. When you smile even though your hands still tremble. When you open your heart even while it still fears being hurt. These tiny choices, repeated day after day, slowly bring light back into your soul. And then, one morning, you'll look in the mirror, not to find who you used to be, but to smile at who you're becoming. Once you've walked through the dark, you begin to realize something miraculous. Peace isn't found by avoiding pain, but by knowing you can move through it and still remain whole. Your body, your mind, and your spirit have learned to breathe together, to live together, and to love together. You start seeing the world with new eyes, not more perfect, but more profound. If there's one message I want you to carry from this journey, it's this: you are not broken. You are blooming. Every time your heart aches, it's proof that it's still beating, still feeling, still alive. And like all living things, you have the power to keep growing, to keep changing, to keep loving, slowly, but surely. If you've stayed with Peaceful Soul until this moment, then a part of you has already awakened, the part that wants to live more fully, more gently with yourself. Hold on to that. Let peace become your daily habit, not a rare escape. And if this video touched you, even in the smallest way, I invite you to subscribe and share your story below. Because maybe, just maybe, your words will be the light for someone still finding their way. Thank you for being here, in a world full of noise. You chose to pause and listen to yourself. Continue this journey with Peaceful Soul, where every breath is a step home. Because peace has never left you, it has always lived within you.